part of the Cultural Capitals Initiative, 2 artists joined forces with the 20th Street Group and began making connections in the community of Riversdale.
I think the synergy in the area right now is very interesting with our neighbors, you know, AKA and Pave Heart and SNTC a little bit further on the street. It's coming like a little arts district, and that's very interesting.
As we moved in, you know, we've seen other organizations like us, because this is really where people want to be if they're interested in serving the community. This is one of the only places left in Saskatoon, I think, where you can talk about the places, the neighborhoods as actual communities, as real neighborhoods.
We did a lot of research, which Sydney may have told you, about trying to figure out where we wanted to be, and we realized that 20th Street West, Saskatoon, is the place where the most challenges and the most community groups are. And we could see that it was also a place that was going to get more and more vibrant, because we can see that when artists move into a place, it'll sort of rev it up. So we wanted to buy our building. We wanted to have that street front entrance so kids and neighbors can come in and feel comfortable coming in here.
Yeah, you know, when we moved into Riversdale, immediately our attendance jumped by about 400%. And that was really exciting to us to know that we wanted to be here, but the people wanted us here as well.
People in this area have always taken care of each other. They've always helped each other. They've always been there for each other. And through these tough times, that hasn't changed. And you know, whether you're walking into a business or walking down the street or walking through the parks, there is a sense that, you know, that we all belong here, and that it's a very tolerant community, that anybody will be accepted here regardless of what your ethnic background is, or your religious background, or your gender. That's how Riversdale has always been.
Crust, cracked, sore.
With the advent of economic change, Riversdale faces new challenges as its residents make way for industry and revitalization. Many ask what social challenges this new face of Riversdale will bring.
Silent, and it all goes to seat and waits. Under a wax paper sky, an aching sun bakes the sober earth. Slew, dry, its skirt of brown cattails, once teeming with bird life, now quiet as a church.
30 years ago, Riversdale started to see a decline similar to many inner cities across North America, and we saw the suburbanization of our cities. The result of that was lower income levels, higher unemployment rates, and more social challenges being kind of squished into these inner city communities. I think Riversdale has really suffered from some misconceptions and some negative perceptions over the last few years that have stopped people from coming in and visiting this community.
I guess I'm most surprised by the division that exists and the attitude, this really very, very clear and, you know, emphasized attitude that, well, the West is where bad things happen and we don't go over there because it's really dangerous. It's not dangerous, like it's ridiculous. But people, there's a real perception of that.
We have our challenges, you know, and the entire city has challenges. We have challenges around housing. We have challenges keeping our kids away from gangs and away from alcohol and drugs. But, you know, everywhere, those challenges are everywhere.
I must admit, and I'm kind of ashamed to admit, that I was scared the first time I came out, and was really frightened that I might meet some people that are in bad sorts and just want to rumble or something, but I had none of that, you know. Even the guy who stole my pack of smokes was rather friendly about it, and I couldn't get angry about it. Well, that's a good ending. It's a good ending. If you guys would have, like, packed your story together, like, I just got robbed, life's gonna get better. Yeah, maybe you guys can share that one, man. Oh, man. It's true. He's the robber, man. Damn. Well, if you want cigarettes, man, you can go share.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Ricky.
Nice to meet you, Ricky, man. I'm Dave. Yeah.
It's a fantastic area, and I love it. But yeah, I mean, there are people dealing with some serious issues and serious things with serious consequences. So I think it's only suitable that if, you know, artist-run centers or corporations or whomever wants to move into that will then become part of the new dynamic that they find themselves dealing with.
We were looking for a place where we could really set down deep roots. We also were looking for a space where we could help the rest of the community put down deep roots. We're really interested in supporting the local culture of Riversdale because we don't want anybody else to be pushed out of their neighborhood.
Artists moved in and it was the cheap place to live, so that's why artists moved there. And then suddenly artists are making a go of it there, and it becomes, oh, well, maybe we should move there with the kids because the artists are living there and that's the cool place to live. So it happens, right? It's the gentrification, and that's what I found has been, I guess, a bit of a cause of anxiety for me here, that I don't want that to happen here. I don't want that gentrification and that sort of cleaning up and the subsequent removal of the people who already live here.
I find more and more it's fascinating how well he's gotten to know the people in the neighborhood. I think he, even though he's really new to Saskatoon, he knows way more people than I do. Everyone on the street stops and to say hello. So that was one of my biggest goals for this whole residency, was to make connections and build relationships. And I think Lee really, really does that.
At first, I had proposed an idea, sort of like a larger project, like a really kind of long-term, big project. And it didn't take very long being here to figure out that that's not totally the way this area works. It works in a very transitory, very organic, temporary way. And things are, it seems, constantly emerging and disappearing. So I thought it would be better and more cohesive to run a series of small projects. And they were workshops about urban space, and I mean this space in particular, in Riversdale. And so they involve navigating through the space and sort of leaving traces behind, traces taken from those spaces, but also left behind as markers that, yes, we had in fact been here and witnessed such and such a thing. So in that sense, we used Polaroids as a way of exploring and negotiating the space of Riversdale. So people essentially went on sort of individualized walks and navigated their way about and shot their images around Riversdale and then posted them up. And as they posted them up, they led everybody else through on a tour of where they had been.
I think it's further up.
You like that, do you, Stasia? You like that, do you?
David is a young theater artist. In the residency, he did a project, a mixed project, to mix a little bit of theater with it is in his capacity as designer, but also to connect with people. So he did that project, Smokes for Story. So he sat down on the street with a couple of 2 chairs, and he offered people a cigarette if they tell him a story.
I wanted to find a way to be like proactive with the community, and meet the colorful people I see every day on the street, and I thought of the moment that I always talk to them is when I smoke. They want to come and bum a smoke for me, so I figured, hey, I'll get a bunch of smokes and I'll exchange them for stories. There's like different types. There's the ones that do jokes. They tell me jokes. Those are always fun. There's a classic pulling your leg joke where in the end, the main character is pulling your leg. I've had like 3 or 4 of those. And quite good ones, actually. Like good storytellers. And lots of people see it as a tribune and tell me their life stories and their hardships and, you know, going through the residential schools, having trouble with the parents and stuff.
We don't get that much like in Quebec and Newfoundland.
Whoops.
They have different benefits in that.
Yeah.
Finger, another finger.
That's from Ziggy Stardust. Yeah, man, of course. It took me a while to get it, but I got the reference. It's been quite fun because it's almost the underbelly, you know. It's not the store people or the commerce or the restaurants or anything, you know. It's really the people that just live here and spend their days out on 20th Street talking to their friends, you know, that really interact.
Try to make it down to
33rd Street, but we want to go to Beardy's and Muskogee.
He record those stories and he make a little sound sample of that, and based on those stories, he design little set. So we have little set to little maquette, little miniature, you know, who go with each story. So you can listen to the story and watch the little miniature. It's very cute. It's very nice.
Wait till I tell you the one time when I took off with the carnival for 2 years.
Yeah, I like number 7. That's a good brand.
You have any good stories to tell?
So this is Christmas, right? And so he's got kids of all ages and grown-ups and people walking off the street that are getting their portraits taken to the light of as many candles as you are old. It was interactive in a way that people could tell their stories, but also have a lot of fun with it.
I'm waiting under a wax paper sky. Waiting under a wax paper sky.
Lee is demystifying the gallery. So he's making people feel comfortable about coming into the gallery, but also being able to reach up to understand a difficult idea. Like the art that he was showing had a lot of very deep and difficult concepts to grasp, but he still was able to communicate that to everybody who came in. And one of the problems I often see with community-based art is that it really dumbs itself down for this particular crowd, and it's just, I don't know, I think it's maybe the worst type of racism when you expect less from a certain clientele that they wouldn't be able to understand it.
I mean, what does it do for residents? It does what they want it to do, essentially. If they want to be engaged and they want to be involved and they want to get something from it, then it'll provide that. If there's a lack of engagement by the non-art professional community, it's because they kind of just haven't been asked.
I think our residents and the other ones that are in sort of the same general area are working to make people feel like they're a part of the artistic activity that happens here, make us seem not like elitist or like we're trying to swoop in and change the neighborhood, but actually work with the people that are here and let them know that we're really here for them.
It's more important sort of watching those contributions that people have and the surprises, like sudden theft that just sort of happen. And I think that's what it's been. It's been don't take it for granted. Don't sort of assume any degree or type or level of interaction, because Riversdale will find a way to surprise you.
Like David was on the street, on the sidewalk, it was doing this right there. So people was passing, I don't know, going shopping or going home, and it was there. So it was an interaction direct to the public. It was not behind the door. It was outside. So the reach out was very, very, very there and positive. For lots of people, it was an occasion to speak, to talk, you know. They feel, oh, I can say something. I have an opportunity to express myself. Not just telling a story about, you know, when I was young, blah, 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 but talking in general, get their voice heard. And I think that was very, very important and very successful.
I think in a way they like the idea that they might be part of something like that, you know? And at the same time, it's just stories, you know? It's their stories, you know? It's something that, yeah, kind of attach something that's unattainable to something that they know and that they are, you know?
You know, part of being there too, and a community in a community, if we want to connect, if we want to have exchanges, cultural exchanges and artistic exchanges, we have to make action to being understood by others, you know. It's a communication thing, so we'll go on that way.
Blues, wrecking my mind.
Over the last 30 years or so, Riversdale was maybe not the most desirable place to live, not the most desirable place to work. We're really starting to see that change over the last 3 years in particular. Riversdale has come back as a very vibrant and desirable community. There's been a few different things that have happened that are in Riversdale that are really so typical of revitalized community, whether it's, you know, Granville Island or the Forks or any other city in Canada that has seen that district revitalized. The first thing that really marks that benchmark of a recovering community is increased diversity. The second thing that happens, or the second benchmark, I guess, of a revitalizing community is the arts community moves back in. And boy, have we seen that in a big way. What it does is it provides balance in the area. So you can work in Riversdale, you can live in Riversdale, you can shop in Riversdale. The other side of that, of course, there's challenges that comes with revitalization. And of course, the one that comes to mind immediately is increased housing prices.
I hope it will stay, the heart of Riversdale will stay the same thing. I hope it will not become a little preppy place where real people don't live here. You know, the roots people will have to go because it's too expensive. I hope that will not be happening, but I hope it will come a neighborhood with those roots still here. The real people live here, but more secure, more innovative, you know, more artistically inclined. I think it will be very nice. It will become the artistic street of the city. I think it's a place for that.
We may face more challenges because of higher poverty levels and lower education levels, but this is, you know, for the most part, it's a working class community, and it's a community that's really cherished by the people who live and work here. What we have seen is a recovery in the commercial district that's really starting to make a difference in the way people feel about living and working here. Riversdale will always be unique. It's not aspiring to be or to live up to any other communities in Saskatoon or in Canada, but to be all that it can be. And I think we're starting to see those changes happening. I think we'll see this area really develop as a vital component of our creative city and it's turning into a place where people really want to be.